What is up, Premier Planet? This is current PPW official Danny Dixon here, and I am starting a new series here in Premier Pro Wrestling when we are talking about one hot topic in the pro wrestling world, that being the man from Chicago himself, CM Punk. As a lot of you know, there's a lot of speculation and rumors going around with CM Punk and his current status in the world of professional wrestling. So we wanted to dive into it and keep you up to date with everything that is going on in the world of CM Punk and a lot of the rumor and innuendo that is going on surrounding CM Punk. So without further ado, let's dive into the first CM Punk report and let you know all the news and the rumors that are going on with regards to CM Punk, a man who Randy gave his first handful of matches with in the NAWF. So let's dive into it, shall we? Recently, CM Punk did a radio interview with 670 The Score, and he was asked directly by the radio hosts about Survivor Series, which is coming up at the end of November, Thanksgiving weekend. Now, Survivor Series, the significance of it is that it's going to be in Chicago this year. As many of you already know, CM Punk no longer works for All Elite Wrestling. His contract was terminated, and a lot of contracts in wrestling have a 90-day no-compete clause, and there's a lot of speculation going around as to whether or not CM Punk's had that clause in it, you know? So a lot of people are speculating that CM Punk is free to sign whenever he chooses, but a lot of people are also saying that his contract had the 90-day no-compete clause on it, which would, in theory, expire in November, which would make him eligible to participate at Survivor Series and to make a surprise appearance because Chicago is his hometown, and the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois was when he famously won the WWE Championship from John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011 and walked out of the company with the championship, starting the summer of Punk in WWE. So CM Punk cleverly replied, and he said, "They're asking if I'm going to be there. I think it's sold out. I think tickets are hard to get." And CM Punk is not lying here, because I, for one, have been trying to get tickets to Survivor Series. Finally got them, but I had to pay the resale price for them. And another interesting thing about Survivor Series is that they got rid of the entrance stage. So, you know, they had the big Titantron where all the wrestlers come out. They got rid of that in favor of a more like baseball field type stage so they could have more seats in the arena. And I think that's cool because Allstate Arena is close to full capacity and they're on track to surpass their attendance that they had for WrestleMania 22 back in 2006 when Rey Mysterio became World Heavyweight Champion in that arena. So what's interesting about that is that CM Punk didn't outright say, "No, I'm not going to be there." He jokingly poked fun at it being a near sellout, and he didn't deny it. And if you pay attention to a lot of the rumors with CM Punk going all the way back to prior to him signing with All Elite Wrestling, he was also asked a similar question, and he kind of tiptoed around the question as well as to whether or not he would appear on Rampage when it was his inevitable debut at the United Center for that company. It's definitely something to note here because CM Punk is known to, I use this in quotes, troll the internet wrestling community. He's very self-aware, and he knows that his name garnishes a lot of interest. So it'd be interesting to pay attention to see what transpires with that and kind of have the writing on the wall. And then recently, if you've been watching WWE programming, you notice that Shinsuke Nakamura outright used the "go to sleep" during an episode of Raw, and whether or not that was an homage to CM Punk or not, it might be just people reading through the lines and saying, "Hey, that's a sign that CM Punk's going to come back." I don't know. In the case of Survivor Series, if CM Punk is not returning after all. It's just darn good on WWE for capitalizing on that opportunity, all that speculation, and get people to buy these tickets and get people to put butts in the seats. Because just a few years ago during the pandemic, there was no crowd at all. So seeing WWE recover from that, and I think they're doing the best business-wise financially that they have ever, to be honest with you. It's really cool to have that interest already brewing and sparking. But at the same time, Chicago's such a rowdy crowd, and they'll voice their displeasure if they like or don't like you. So I am just hoping that people don't hijack the show in anticipation for CM Punk showing up. And if he doesn't show up, then they get discouraged and boo the people that are putting on a great show, because the WWE roster today, they're high-class athletes. A lot of the maneuvers take a lot of effort to put in, and I definitely think that they're very passionate and driven. So it would be a shame to see the Chicago crowd booing if CM Punk doesn't not show up to Survivor Series. Another interesting bullet point that I want to discuss is Bound for Glory for Impact Wrestling. Bound for Glory was this past weekend, and it was in Cicero, Illinois, and apparently CM Punk was already in the city. He ended up going to the Blackhawks game, and he was a part of the opening ceremonies for the Blackhawks game. But the day after, Impact Wrestling taped Bound for Glory Fallout. It was like their TV tapings or whatever. And CM Punk was actually backstage for those tapings. And that's interesting because there's a lot of rumor and innuendo that Impact Wrestling was very interested in signing CM Punk. And Ace Steel, which is a known friend of CM Punk, actually worked as a producer backstage for Impact Wrestling. So whether or not CM Punk was there to show support for Ace Steel as they worked together in All Elite Wrestling, and previously they did work together as a tag team in Impact Wrestling back when it was TNA, although they're bringing TNA back in 2024. It's just an interesting note because he was backstage, I think it was last summer, and he was said to be in good spirits, talked to everybody who would be willing to listen to him, all that good stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if CM Punk signed with Impact Wrestling. I definitely think it's an option. Will it gauge a lot of interest in Impact Wrestling? I sure believe so, because Impact Wrestling is a little bit in this redevelopment period after a lot of their high caliber talent ended up leaving, going elsewhere, going to All Elite Wrestling. A lot of them work with New Japan as well. So it'd be really interesting to see how that transpires. And I definitely think that more audience engagement will happen with Impact Wrestling if they sign a name like CM Punk, because a lot of people will watch a wrestling product for CM Punk as he has a very loyal following. And they got Trinity, who wrestled in WWE as Naomi, and she's been killing it in Impact Wrestling lately. So adding another person like CM Punk would definitely help Impact Wrestling as they enter a rebuilding phase. But a lot of people are still banking on the fact that he might return to WWE. And one person or a group of people that do not believe that he will return to WWE is the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is a newsletter that has been around for years and years and years. Reputable is a strong word to use, but nonetheless, they're still in the wrestling industry. A lot of people believe they're credible. Whether that's true or not is up to your interpretation, but they said that CM Punk returning to WWE or AEW are dead deals, which means that they said it's off the table. They don't have no interest in signing CM Punk. AEW, no interest in signing CM Punk. So take that as a grain of salt. Take that for what you will. If CM Punk shows up, then a lot of people can say, oh, the rumors were true. If CM Punk doesn't show up, I'm sure the Wrestling Observer newsletter will take credit and say, hey, we told you so. It's just the gamble that you take in pro wrestling with all these rumors. Shouldn't be taken as fact. It's just pure speculation. But another interesting bullet point, and the last bullet point that I want to discuss today, is his commentary on CFFC. So that's like UFC is basically their NXT in a way. The fighters in mixed martial arts at CFFC are trying to get to the next level in UFC, and CM Punk does commentary on that. And when he returned to the commentary table after what happened in All Elite Wrestling, he said that he was very open and he had time on his hands for the next 2 months. And a lot of people took that as if he was going to show up at Survivor Series and sign a contract with WWE. It could be just CM Punk trolling, but we'll have to see what transpires with that. This is the first CM Punk report. We will do more of these as more rumors and speculation continue to come out. If you watch WWE programming and you see something that reminds you of CM Punk, or you think that is a direct sign that CM Punk may be returning, feel free to leave a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are with the whole CM Punk situation. Now, for Premier Pro Wrestling, which sparked Randy gave CM Punk his first handful of matches, and in his original company, NAWF, which then evolved into Premier Pro Wrestling, we want to let you know that we have moved locations. We are no longer in Woodstock, Illinois. We are in Rockford, Illinois now. The location is 3839 Broadway in Rockford. Come out every Saturday night, and we're going to add Fridays back into the mix. Make sure you're checking that out. Come see the new building. If you're interested in professional wrestling, Randy Ritchie, one of the best trainers in this area, so make sure you check that out as well. We would love to have new faces, new fans, all that good stuff. We're in a new era in Premier Pro Wrestling, and we would appreciate your support. Also, if you stand with Punk for everything that has been going on, we have a shirt on Redbubble that says "We Stand with Punk." So make sure you check that out. Just search Premier Pro Wrestling on Redbubble to find that shirt. We'll also link it in the description of this video. My name is Danny Dixon, signing out. And in case you didn't know, it's clobbering time.